Rock stars, Eric Andres, your guitar sage here, and today I'm going to talk to you about the 5 biggest mistakes that I made growing up and learning how to play guitar. And I should say, the 5 biggest mistakes that most guitar players make. So most of these are mine. Many of these are mine. In some ways, they're everybody's, but they're definitely mine in some ways. And some of them more so than others, okay? So we'll start off. The first one that really came true to me, that was the biggest bit that after 30 years of playing, I looked back and said, gosh, I wish I would have done that differently. This is the biggest one. And I'm telling you these because they're going to save you a lot of trouble, okay? A lot of time and a lot of trouble if you listen to them and don't do them. Catch yourself when you're doing them. Okay, so number one is practicing too much finger dexterity, scales, exercises, etc., etc. Now, with me saying that, there's nothing wrong with exercises. In fact, they're great. And scales are great. And practicing all these bits and pieces are great, okay? But this is where it can become somewhat toxic, if you will, as a guitar player. We have X amount of hours, right? X amount of hours on the guitar because we have other things to do, like working and eating and sleeping and all these other things, right? So we want to get the most time out of everything that we do, especially guitar playing, right? We want to be the best players we can with the minimal amount of time. If it takes longer, great, but we're trying to pack everything in, right? So what I found was I would sit there and practice these scales and these dexterity exercises for hours and weeks and days and months upon end. And that was great. And it got my dexterity down and playing well, cleanly. But unlike riding a bike, when you put the guitar down for some time, much of that dexterity and that speed and what have you goes away unless you're keeping up with it all the time. So what's the moral of this story? Well, the moral of this story is no one cares how fast your fingers are going if you're not playing something melodic, if you're not playing something inspiring to the ears. So number one, really try to get out of the habit of just playing rote patterns all the time, okay? It's okay to warm up with them. It's okay to get maybe a particular finger in line if it's not playing well with the others, that sort of thing. But if you can try to keep it as musical as possible, you're going to be so much better for doing so because you're training your ear, you're training yourself to know the neck in a really intimate way, just like you would if you were getting to know a loved one. Let's say a new girlfriend, new boyfriend, and you were talking to them. You wouldn't have a list of things to say like I did in 8th grade because I was so deathfully afraid of dating. And I would go and I had a list and I'd say, so how was homework today? How was class today? And then as soon as she got done saying that, I'd go to another question. So there wasn't a dead spot in the conversation. Well, guess what? That's when the good stuff happens, okay? So allow yourself to not have to be noodling all the time. Allow yourself to work with music and work with chords and what have you. It's going to make everything sound a lot better, and you're going to know what to do. You're going to know how to speak with your instrument instead of just twiddling all the time, okay? Number one, very, very, very important. And similarly, before we go on to the next one, it would be also similar to handing a kid a dictionary at an early age. It's got all the words in it with all the definitions. Surely they're going to come out speaking eloquently. No, it doesn't work like that. We have to use words in context. Same thing when we're noodling and we're fretting and playing chords and scales and everything else. If they're not used in context, it really doesn't matter whether you have that dictionary or that scale or not. You have to know how to use it within the confines of music. Okay, and that's number one. That's probably going to be the longest one. Playing the same old stuff. This is a very, very common thing. We all do it. I find myself doing it Everybody does it, and what happens is you do what you know because it feels comfortable. Now, there's some degree of that that's good because you have to build your repertoire and you've got to practice your repertoire. There's no need in learning a song if you're not going to play it, right? If you're not going to continue to play it. You go through all this work. I've done this with thousands of tunes, so I'm preaching to the choir. But you take a lot of time to learn a song impeccably, exactly the way the artist did it, and then you don't practice it for a few years, you're going to forget it. You'll remember bits and pieces. It's as if you've never practiced it before. So, important to keep up with your repertoire, okay? But at the same time, don't do it to the extent that you're not learning new things. Don't always go to it. And analyze yourself. If you have something worn out, you know it inside and out, don't play it anymore. Every now and then, play it. But otherwise, go to something new. It's going to make you a fresh player. Get out of the rut of playing the same thing all the time, okay? Number 3, skipping the basics. I see this day in and day out. It's why I've created my courses. It's why I have a job. This is what I do for a living. It's because so many people skip the basics. And I get letters amongst emails amongst letters where people are saying, gosh, I've been playing for 20 years, I've been playing for 30 years, 40 years, folks playing longer than I have, and they say, I didn't even know about this music theory. I didn't know about that you could do this with this chord or what have you. And the reason being is folks skip the basics a lot of times. Now here's the deal. It's okay to skip some stuff, but the basics you gotta know. I mean, think about it. What happens if you were a sword swallower or something, a throwing star where you throw stars or you throw knives or something like that? It would be good for you to know the basics before you start throwing knives at people or swallowing swords or anything like this, right? Let's say you're a BMX bike rider. It's important to know the basics about riding a bike and engines and jumping and everything else before you just start flipping and landing on your head, okay? So similarly with guitar, we're stacking things up. How many times are you going to fret something? How many times are you going to strum something or pick something? People just think, well, you just hit the string into the pick or the pick into the strings and then you're set. Well, is it? How is your picking? How is your strumming? How is your fretting? Is it impeccable? Is it exactly what you want? If it's not, those are the basics that I'm talking about, and you're going to be doing those all the time, okay? Now, don't skip the basics. If you want to know what the basics are, I have a free course for you. There's a link in the description of this video. Check it out if you'd like. It's free. It's the top 30 lessons I teach all my students here in Nashville. And I purposely picked only those 30 because I really firmly believe in leaving certain things out to accentuate the things that you really, 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 really need to know. Okay? What's the use of knowing thousands of chords when you just use the same 9 chords all the time? Okay, this isn't a contest to see how many chords or scales we know. It's a contest to see who can make beautiful music, right? That's what we're trying to do, is move people with music. Okay, so skipping the basics is number 3. Number 4 is not seeking good instruction. Okay, what I mean by this is, and thank goodness for YouTube now, right? There's a plethora of teachers out there, and there's a plethora of terrible teachers out there, and there's a plethora of great teachers out there. So whether you're looking on YouTube or Udemy or some course, it's really important that you seek out really, really good instruction. Listen, the world is your oyster right now when it comes to learning online. There are so many great instructors, again, so many bad instructors as well, but it's your job to find out a good instructor, an instructor that speaks to you, that gets you playing, that gets you motivated, that gets you beyond those humps. Okay, so seek out good instruction. There's so much free instruction, it's not even funny. I just gave you $1,500 worth of free videos. If you were to visit me here in Nashville, that's how much it would cost in the same studio with the same guitars, and I'd teach you the same exact thing. So there you go. That's in the description of this video, YourGuitarSage.com/30. Take advantage of all these free bits and pieces that are available on the internet. Okay, so not seeking good instruction. Seek good instruction, because if you have someone who's mediocre, you're not going to get better than them just being mediocre. You need someone way better than you. Seek out the best, okay? Number 5, last one, is not learning basic music theory. Got lots of videos for this on YouTube. I have another channel called YGS Guitar Lessons, Your Guitar Sage Guitar Lessons, where I just teach theory, and technique. Okay, inside my Unstoppable Guitar System, I teach tons of theory, but nonetheless, the basic theory is very, very, very important. If you'd like to know more about that here on YouTube, just type in Your Guitar Sage Theory, or check out the free course. That'll help you as well. So there are bits and pieces that we need to know about the fretboard, that if you know these things, it makes life so much easier. And I see people constantly skipping over these steps and constantly running into the same problems every single time. It's because they didn't just learn that one little thing. They keep skirting around it because they think that it's going to be this terrible learning process, and it's not. Most of the time, 90% of the time, it's super easy if you have the right person teaching it to you. And then once you know it, it's like someone turned a key and opened a door for you, and all of a sudden you got all this treasure in there, okay? Do not skip basic music theory. Here on YouTube, type in Your Guitar Sage Theory. I believe I have one that's something about the basic theory that one needs to know when playing guitar. At least start there, or again, with the free course. Friends, I'm telling you these 5 things because, and not 10 things, because I wanted to give you the 5 top things that folks do, that I've done, that hinder you as a guitar player. It's about time. It's about practice. Time on the guitar times practice equals how good you are. Forget about talent. Watch my video on practice versus talent, and I'll explain that more. Friends, I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you. This is what I do for a living. I love it, and I want to know what you need from me. So please let me know. If you like this video, please hit thumbs up, but let me know in those comments about any questions that you may have. Let me know what you would like to see me teach. Let me know if you don't like my haircut, anything like that. It's fine, because all the trolls that write stuff on these videos only boost those videos. So yay, trolls. And please let me know how I can help you. Hit subscribe if you like that. Hey, did you know I'm on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all those places? I am, and I do lots of stuff over there. In fact, I do live broadcasts on Facebook once a week at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, so check me out there. Do lots of giveaways. In fact, we do giveaways every single week, and once a month, we try to get in one big live broadcast where we give away thousands of dollars worth of goodies. In fact, tomorrow I'm going to be giving away my personal custom shop Fender Stratocaster, a 50s classic with hand-wound pickups. I'm giving that away tomorrow. By the time you see this video, it'll be way gone. But that's all right, because I give away lots of other guitars and courses and everything else. So my friends, join us at YourGuitarSage.com/live for the next live event, to be put on that list to be notified about that. Please let me know how I can help. I'm here for you, friends. As always, be kind to all beings. All beings. Don't trust the man. He's a big fat liar. Practice your guitar, because we want to get better, and I'll see you in another video.